Hello, I am Vajrababu Balakrishnan from Nam Tamilar America. I would like to welcome you all to our session. Today, our topic of discussion is education policy from Nam Tamilar Kachi Manifesto. Education is both the act of teaching knowledge to others and the act of receiving knowledge from someone else. Education is key for people as well as country's progress. Education is one of the basic rights. I'd like to welcome our speakers who are from different professional background. Our speakers today are Tangaswamy, an environmental engineer, Selvan Seaman, an information technology professional, Selva, information technology professional. Let's get into our discussion. I'd like to welcome our first speaker, Tangaswamy, to share his thoughts on education through mother tongue. Tangaswamy, over to you.
Thank you, Vajra, for your kind introduction. This is a great opportunity given to me to tell about the education system in mother tongue in Tamil Nadu. So I'm going to tell you how we can give good education in mother tongue and what are the advantages all over the world in different languages. And before we get into the topic, I would like to tell a few things about the basic skills we need for education. It includes learning, delivering, and internalizing the knowledge and contents, putting them everything into a thought processing, storing, and finally retrieving from the storage. So it is the continuous process from generation to generation. This is called education. And why should the education be in everyone's mother tongue? That's the most important questions we have to ask. Social life of human starts with the communication. The mother tongue is the medium of communication, and from birth till the end of life. All day to day activities revolve around the mother tongue. We talk and we express all kinds of feelings, including dreaming in mother tongue. What language one who dreams on should be his or her medium of education. And mother tongue has great impacts on thought processing, intelligence, and finally, honing skills. And there are many examples around the world who speak native languages. And let's see a few examples. The ethnic language is very important to any race in the world. They protect their language by keeping and practicing in all day to day activities. Developed countries such as Japan, Germany, China, France, Taiwan, Korea, Singapore, Switzerland, and other countries, to name a few, strictly follow their native language. They keep all printed documents, multimedia, news, softwares, etc. in mother tongue. They document all historical resources and evidences and preserve them with utmost care. And now we are going to see few examples where the greatest people achieve with their mother tongue. So, what can you achieve by studying via native language? When we follow our education from elementary till higher studies in native language, we become very professional both in language and technical know hows. For example, Thomas Alva Edison, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, Dr. Mailsamy Annadurai, Dr. Sir C.V. Raman, musician Ilayaraja, Supreme Court Chief Justice Sadasivam, etc., who studied in mother tongue, achieved the winning performances. And whoever learning the other language like a second language, they are not performing as good as the native language persons. So That's what I'm focusing and emphasizing the importance of education system via mother tongue is most important. Thank you very much, Vajra, for the opportunity. Over to you.
Thank you, Tangaswamy. You really shared a very good points like how mother tongue impacts enhancing the skills and how many countries follow education through mother tongue. Thank you once again on sharing your thoughts on education through mother tongue. Now let's welcome Selvan Seaman to share his thoughts on quality free education.
Hello everyone. Today we are going to talk about free education. Let's do a comparison between USA and Tamil Nadu. In the USA, we can see large number of government schools. Almost 70, 80, percent students are in the government schools, and under 20% students are in the private schools. It was like that in Tamil Nadu also. 50 years ago, there was a Tamil Chief Minister, uh, Kamarajar period. There were large number of students in the government school, but when the Dravidian people took over the politics last 50 years, it changed totally. So currently, they keep adding more alcohol store and private schools, and then the students going to the government school drastically reduced. I would say about 20-30% students are now going to the government school. It is day by day, it is going less and less. So, so-called Dravidian model, their focus is mainly, not giving a free education to students. Rather than, some comedy. They say that they focus on, குடிக்க வைப்பதற்கு படிக்க வைப்பதற்கு அல்ல. So they used to say that. So let's move on to the assessment system, how it's getting operated in the US. In the US, there is an independent organization. They assess all the government schools periodically to check, for every levels of the classes, reading, mathematics, science, how the schools are performing, and then they provide the assessment for every schools under every school district. So that gives a better idea for the parents to choose which schools they can send their students comfortably within the free education system. But in Tamil Nadu, we don't have those kind of atmosphere, those kind of the free education with high quality currently. Now let's talk about the funding side. In the US, the state government who manages the education, they distribute the funding to schools through school district. Then periodically, few times a year, I heard that every student is getting some dollar amount every year, and then in which they can maintain the school in all aspects. But in Tamil Nadu, about I think about 30-40 years ago, central government took over the education, and then there is still some fight going on. These state government trying to get the education system back to state, but it's still not. It is not there still with the central government. So then the funding wise, the funding is not properly being distributed to the government schools. A lot of government schools are struggling, in order to pay salary to the staff, also to do the basic things what they need to do to improve the school standard, to attract more students coming to the government school. So there is a problem. Then there are some politicians, they actually interfere. So there's a lot of issues out there. Okay, so now let's compare the infrastructure wise. Infrastructure wise in the US, all the schools pretty much having a good building, and then good classroom, and every classroom has nice tables and the chairs, and then the students within the classrooms are about 25 only. So the teachers can provide more attention to students improvement wise. But then they have a park, they have good lab, they have computers, pretty much everything a student needs they provide. But whereas in Tamil Nadu, still the government schools are struggling because they're not getting enough money to get a better building, and then there is not much classroom. I still heard that there are some schools has classes running under a tree. So there is no the maintenance perspective. It's not much money being distributed there. So the infrastructure wise, they have been struggling. So by saying all this, if you refer the NTK manifesto, it's got a clear way of how we can give a free education with high quality to students. So that way, the government schools can get more attraction. Then more people can come to the government schools in Tamil Nadu. Yeah, so we can definitely have a better way of building structure when NTK come to the power. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Selvan Seaman. Excellent points. It's very sad to hear the infrastructure is not up to the standards in Tamil Nadu for the schools. Comparing to US, people pay taxes, but government has to provide a proper infrastructure for education. Hope in future the time will change and we'll get a better infrastructure and we'll have a good education system. Let's welcome our next speaker, Selva, is going to share his thoughts on skill-based education. Selva, over to you.
Thank you, Vajra. There was very profound thoughts by Tangasamy and Selvan Seaman. Thank you for putting forth the ideas about the education reforms, which is pertinent to happen in Tamil Nadu, especially after a long period of time, even after the Kamarajar's period. There has not been any significant reforms with respect to education policy. But with the NTK's policy for education is a core of the entire functional draft which NTK has put together, because Nam Tamlar Katchi, that is NTK, understands that the future of Tamil Nadu lies with the students' hands, right? So we have a very clear-cut education policy, and one of the important aspects of the policies is that skills-based education has to be imparted to the children right from a very starting ages, right? So NTK proposes a method for children's education to start at the age of 3, and then they will be going through 3 levels, which they call in Tamil as Arumbu, Mottu, and Malar. In English, it would be blossoms, bud, and flowers. So that's the meaning of the children going through these 3 levels of education in the initial years. And it's not actually education for the children, but NTK proposes it's an education for the parents and the teachers. The first 3 years, the teachers and parents would be observing the child, and what area the child is skilled or interested in. That area will be discovered over a period of 3 years, and then when they are 6 years old, they will be getting into the first standard education, in which it be clearly determined what skill is their primary skill, will be their primary subject, and all other subjects would be supplementary subjects. So that's a major change. That's a revolutionary thought process for education to completely change as per NTK's policy. And the main reasons put forward for the are like, the world by itself is moving towards skill based hiring, and there is a there is a recent study which I studied the Harvard Business Review about the trends on skills based hiring. In that, they have clearly summarized after 2000s, the companies in their job descriptions have mandated the degrees. They call it inflation of degrees, right? And then that has been happening throughout the 2000s, and just before the major recession 2007 and 2008 period, it was at the peak that time that for any job, degree is going to be a prerequisite, right? But there has been a structural change with respect to hiring of people, especially from the age 15 to 24, right? So that's the age people get hired into jobs. So during that period, in 2007 to 17 to 2020, almost in all sectors of the industry, the companies have slowly reduced the degree requirements, and they have added more requirements which are skill based, right? And some of the skills they mention in the Harvard Business Review are like critical thinking, problem solving, working as a group, creativity, entrepreneurship. So these are the skills that people look forward for, right? So as information technology professionals, if somebody have gone through the interview in Amazon, it's completely behavioral based or skill based interview that Amazon hires these days, right? So the world itself is moving towards skill based hiring, and that makes it more relevant. That NTK's policy for skill based education is more relevant for the current age or the world that is moving to we are moving towards. And apart from that, NTK proposes the children be imparted with practical education, taking them outside, exposing them to outside world, and also technological skills as is going to be a mandatory. The digital skills is going to be mandatory. Whatever field you're going to choose, technology and digital skills will be mandatory from first grade to 10th grade. So that will make our children technology savvy, because that's a basic skill in the upcoming world. Now I just wanted to highlight about a few statistics which I read from OECD, which is a great organization throughout the globe. And what they say is, they have released a worldwide educating for the future index on 2019 scores, the overall category. Overall listing, India as a nation is in 35th rank, and the score they have got is 53, whereas Finland is in rank 1 and their overall score is 84.8. So this clearly shows that how the education system in India as a whole is. But we need to compare how the Indian Tamil Nadu in education system is, and then we'll have to NTK has a clear vision for this. I would say, choosing the path of skills based education. As Simanandan always says, skill children should be imparted with skills based education. And when we create experts in the specialized areas, we are going to have a lot of specialists. Like if you see Sachin Tendulkar, he mainly focused on cricket game, right? And then he didn't focus on any other education. But and he became a very successful in life. So he's a very good example of how skill-based education can change children's future lives. That's it from my end, Vajra. Thanks for your time. Over to you.
Thank you, Silva. It's an excellent points, great points. You shared really very well on how the early stage of kids, how they can learn the Muttu, Malar, and Arumbu, Muttu, and Malar. That's really amazing things. Like when the kids they develop, their brain develops very much, and I heard the they can learn plenty of language till the age of 10. The kids' brains are so intelligent, they can grasp as much as language. You really brought a very good point on the education score system, what Finland scored and where India is, and excellent data on the research as well about the skill-based education. Thank you, Selva, once again for sharing the details on skill-based education. Now let's have a quick round to share the final thoughts. Let's start with Tangaswamy. Tangaswamy, how we are going to implement the policy education through mother tongue at ground level in Tamil Nadu? So, what is your thoughts on this?
Yeah, as per Nam Tamil Katchi education policy, the systems, how once we come to the power, how we are going to govern this kind of education with the mother tongue is a biggest and Herculean task we are going to have for sure. And it might take 10 to 15 years to change completely, like a 360-degree. It's not an easy one, but I have planned for that. Tamil Nadu government should initiate a new department called language translation. or Ministry of Language Translation. So we can recruit more than 2,000 specialists or even more who are very good in grammar and literature of two languages. That means it can be Tamil and French, or Tamil and Japanese, or Tamil and Chinese, anything. So those specialists will be recruited and appointed to translate all key printed media around the world and print them in Tamil language. So we will have repository of all the books and their sources resources in Tamil language. That will be used as a source, main resource for future generations to liven up or give life to and protect our ethnic language, Tamil. So in this way, the Tamil ethnicity will be protected from extinction. That is most important, because the reason we emphasize on mother tongue education is to keep our ethnic group from the extinction. And final word I would like to say, language protects the identity of ethnicity. So we are definitely going to do this once we come into power, and we hope that in 10 to 15 years after the power, we can change this, and complete education will be in mother tongue. Thank you very much for the kind opportunity.
Thank you, Tangaswamy. You brought a really good point. Um, Language protects the ethnicity. That is an important message that you gave. That's really excellent. Now let's go on to our second speaker, Selvan Seeman. People pay tax to government. Education is free in some of the countries, but why there is more private education institution in Tamil Nadu, run by powerful business and political persons, turning education into a kind of a blood sucking business. So we see most of we hear every day. So how Nam Tamilar Kachi can manage this kind of situation? How we can make it the education free? And what is your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, thank you, Vajra. So, non-Tamil Kutchi's policy-wise, there are two things we primarily say. First one is the free education. Second one is the medical. So, both should be free to every resident. I mean, of the state. So that means the government will focus mainly, how the standards of the government school can be, up to the standard of the international, how the government schools, how they operate. That means there's more number of, during the budget allocation, more allocation needs to be for the education. And then the way they distribute the funding to the government schools, there has to be a clear, transformed way of distributing the funding to every schools. And then the schools will have enough money, and then there will be a management, like through school district they manage here. Then the same way we'll have a transparent way of managing the schools. And then every infrastructure the schools needs, the government will support, based on the NTK policy. And then to attract more students coming to the government school. So government schools will have more the results as compared to the private schools. Then when the government schools are up to the standard and the students are progressing well, and then they give good rankings, then obviously automatically the students from the private schools will come back to the government schools. That is the something NTK is trying to achieve when NTK is coming to the power. Thank you, Vijay.
Thank you, Selvan Siman. Yes, it's very important to maintain the school standards, provide the basic facility. Even if you can't able to provide an hi-fi infrastructure, just provide a basic facility where a student come and learn their whatever the studies they want to pursue. It's really hoping so. Once we Nam Tamil comes to power, they provide a better education for all the people. Thank you for your points. Let's move on to Silva to hear his thoughts. Silva, most of the countries, the students are recommended to certain path based on their individual skills like sports, arts and theater, science, engineering, literature, so many of them based on the child's skills. So, what is your thought on this?
Yeah, Vajra, absolutely. Even in US, there is a lot of options for kids who are passing out of higher secondary, and they are given a wide variety of choices to pursue the skills which they really want to. One another point which the economies on the whole and all over the world are struggling is that to bring a equity in the labor market, right? A lot of people who are uh, you know going into diverse skills would be a better options for them to even out the labor market, to employ those people who in those skills in which they are specialized on, right? So NTK, on the whole, their main focus is to focus on preparing the children for such skill based jobs, and while they finish their education they are going to choose a wider variety of specializations, just like the way you told, like arts, sports, and digital skills, whatever area they are skilled on. That's the main focus of NTK's policy, that to make the child make an expert out of themselves in one particular area. So when NTK is going to come to power, this is going to be the main focus. This policy is not only comparing with the US education system, but all around the globe, because we are looking closely at the education systems in Finland, Sweden, and some of the top nations who have ranked higher. South Korea as well, Singapore as well. Some of the best education systems in the world to bring an overall growth for the child, especially in the areas of demand, such as I told before, the critical thinking, the creativity, uh, cognitive abilities. Those are to be imported into the curriculum, so that we achieve the same levels of expertise the children reach in the who are studying in those education systems which are ranked top all around the globe. And it's not only going to compare with other high performance countries in the whole world, but we are going to go back to our roots, right? And
Yes.
uh, you know based upon our language, as Tangasamy and Anna rightly told, we are going to impart mother tongue language, and at the same time we are going to take the guidance from our own Tamil literature as a policy for driving our policies. One such example is that the in Purananuru, I remember one poem. I just wanted to say that uh, ஈன்று புறந்தருதல் எந்தலை கடனே, சான்றோன் ஆக்குதல் தந்தைக்கு கடனே, நன்னடை நல்கள் அரசர்க்கு கடனே. So what the meaning of that is, educating the child to become a better person is an important responsibility of the government. So our education policies are going to be driven based upon that. And another quote by Valluvar is that இதனை இவனால் uh, இவன் செய்வான் என்றாய்ந்து அதனை அவன் கண் விடல். That is a Tirukural, which the meaning of that is that find out the person who is very suitable for a job and place him in that role. If he is specialized in that, then he is going to shine. Imagine all our Tamil literature is giving so much of directions for our education policy. We are going to base our whole education system to go back to our roots and make a overall growth for our kids when NTK comes to power. That's my closing thoughts, Vajra. Thanks.
Thank you, Selva. Thank you for bringing the reference from Purana, Nuru, and Tirukural. That's an excellent point. I'd like to thank our speakers, Tangaswamy, Selvan Seeman, and Selva, for joining the session and sharing their thoughts on Nam Tamlar Kutchi education policy. We'll connect again on our next session. Thank you once again. For viewers, please subscribe the channel Nam Tamlar America to know more about Nam Tamlar Katchi Manifesto. Thank you all. Have a
Thank
good
you.
day.
Thank you all.
Bye.
Thank you.